These films look at two schools which are transforming the way they teach. Both are moving away from formal learning towards structured play. But the two heads have very different perspectives. We've asked them to visit each other's schools and share experiences. Dyffryn Infants in Newport, South Wales, is in one of the most socially deprived parts of Britain. It's piloting the new Welsh foundation phase. By 2008, every primary school in the country will have scrapped Key Stage 1.
The key word is play, because play is a way that children learn through an active way. They experiment, they find out, they make connections, they find out for themselves. If children learn to do things by themselves, they retain 80% of what they do. If they are told something, they retain 10%.
That's the first size that I want you to collect for me. If you can find some, you're going to have to be really good at searching for these because they're very small. And then hold up your little finger for me. We need some sticks that are about the same size as your little fingers, okay?
The school's lucky. It has its own small piece of woodland. A key aspect of the new approach is more outdoor activities, regardless of the weather.
This is your
elbow.
And these are your
fingertips.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
We go out when it's raining, when it's snowing, because this is an outdoor classroom which is equally as important as an indoor classroom. It has a sky instead of ceiling, it has trees instead of walls, and it has locks instead of chairs.
Well done.
The foundation phase has 7 key areas of learning, including personal and social development, language literacy and communication skills, physical and creative development, and knowledge and understanding of the world.
No, we won't root them from the tree.
No, you mustn't take them from the tree, because if you take them from the tree, you'll harm the tree. And so you've got to pick things up that are already on the floor.
The new approach will include all 3 to 7-year-olds. It's been piloted over 3 years, starting with reception. The scheme has the full backing of the Welsh Assembly and a big increase in resources, but the extra staffing may not continue beyond the pilot.
Look at him.
He's broke his wing. A piece broke his wing, didn't you? What are you doing? He's trying to fly.
It's a bee.
He's trying to fly. You can pick her.
So he's not doing me any harm, look, because I'm being very gentle.
He's trying to
not
fly.
doing me any harm. Do you see his wings really whizzing very fast?
He's trying to
Right.
fly.
They are taught skills, not subjects. And to be able to give them a solid skill basis is the best foundation for them to go on to formal learning. They will read and write.
St Martin's Garden Primary in Bath has its own more modest plans to change the emphasis of its early years teaching. But head teacher Phil Pope is in difficult territory and he's worried about the impact on results.
Play has less of a role than we would like it to have, and we are looking at widening the role of play where there is a need to as high as Key Stage 2 and Years 3 and 4, because we have identified there are some children with needs of play that don't seem to have been satisfied for whatever reason. So we would like to broaden it, but there are quite severe limitations placed on us by the national curriculum, Year 6 SATs results, and how we achieve there, because that's how we're judged.
Pull out 2 numbers from the bag like Sam has and make a 2-digit number, and then write those on the line.
The staff share Phil's concerns, even though the changes in Bath will only affect Year 1. From next term, there'll be less formal learning and a greater emphasis on play.
I think there are children who are losing out
through the way you're teaching at the moment?
Yeah, I think there are some children that don't access the curriculum the way that it's taught at the moment. There are some children that are not naturals at sitting down and writing, reading, doing maths that you're asking, the sort of maths that you're asking them to do. Some children do like it. I don't think we need to phase it out altogether, but the majority of children prefer to learn through play, I think, than sitting down doing a worksheet. Go on then.
So is there any pressure on you because of the academic results?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, that's one of the main things that I'm worried about of learning through play. If we just say, OK, we totally abandon everything and go completely child-directed play, I don't think we'll meet the standards that the national curriculum's asking us to meet at the times that they're asking us to meet them. I mean, for instance, there's 110 words that year 1 and 2 have to know, and I don't think they'll know that from just child-directed play. What number were you?
Hey, hello, Phil Pope. Hi.
The teachers hope that Sean's visit will reassure them.
Found us. Come on down, we'll walk down this way. And a slight history of the school. We were amalgamated. It was 2 separate schools,
really?
infant
So
and junior.
How long ago was that?
4 years. So this was always the infant part of the school. And the site is a huge benefit because a number of our children live in flats. And we do actually serve quite a poor area of the city. We have
What's your free school means?
38%.
38.
The new approach is building on the experiences of reception.
From here,
We've done some
they've worked
messages,
on
haven't we? Messages
mind
have gone on,
mapping. We
Can we swap some children that have been pirates for somebody could come and do some stories here with the fish?
The reception teachers already encourage as much child-initiated learning as
Because you've
possible.
been in there a little
Just
while.
like in Wales,
And
this term's
Hayley and Emily, we'll
play-based
let some other
activity
children be
has
pirates
plenty
for
of
a
learning
bit.
potential.
Can we take your pirate hats? And Rosie and Jim. Because Rosie and Jim have been kidnapped, haven't they? What sort of pirate are you then, Tommy?
Captain Beard.
Captain Beard. And are you a good pirate or a bad pirate?
A bad pirate.
What are you going to do that's bad?
Steal the treasure.
Oh no, can I take a picture of you stealing the treasure? It was an idea that I initially thought the children would enjoy, so introduced it as what should we do next, and dropped hints with the children. I have tried working totally blind, but children in our school tend not to have the language skills that they need to come up with ideas. Mostly their ideas were things to make, which they enjoy doing the most, and then we've sort of introduced other bits. So writing element came in with the message in the bottle, and that was their idea.
Starfish.
Right, go on then, Tommy, you start us off.
It's really, on the back is smooth.
Does it feel smooth on the back? So what does it feel like on the top? A bit hard. Okay, can we think of some new?
I've been ahead for 20 years and I've done lots and lots and lots of different initiatives, and this one is right. It looks at the child, it takes the child from where they are, it supports the child. It's not going back to the 60s by any stretch of the imagination.
I think we have to avoid that,
What
don't
we've
we?
done, the balance has just gone from one place to another, and this balance, the swing of the pendulum has come to a place where it's sensible to be, as far as I'm concerned.
You're quite right, because we've got the public image of it to consider, and we do always have to consider that. And the two aspects there is trying to avoid the word play too much, or using it too much.
I think we shot ourselves in the foot when we called it play. If we called it experiential learning or
activity-led learning, something
learning,
like that.
then
If we can use that
it.
sort of language. And as well, I think we've got to get away from the image that it will be the 60s, 70s type approach where children and teachers just did anything, which didn't work.
And the first sense we're going to use is our touching, not looking, our touching sense. So who's sitting nicely? Lewis, would you like to come up Without looking, don't use your looking sense, don't use your listening, but put your hand over the top of the pot
Nina
and see
Denley
what you
teaches
can
reception.
feel.
Next term
What do
she'll
you
move
feel?
up with them to year 1. She's keen to follow
You think
the
it's
Welsh
water?
example.
I think it really fits in with the children in this catchment area. I think that they would really benefit from, you know, feeling more confident, having more self-esteem, you know, finding out things themselves, being discoverers and explorers.
What's going to happen?
Phil knows his staff are keen on the changes, but he needs to be convinced that standards will not fall.
They make purple water. See them.
If we go down the road of more activity-based learning or play-based learning, what impact will that have on the child's achievement? And I would like to think it will increase it. And in my heart of hearts, I know it would long term, but you have to live through the possibility of judging things and getting it right, and the possibility of standards not rising according to SAT.
You have to have the resources. If we don't have the resources within our school, then we can't do what we're setting out to do. The foundation phase needs to have the right adult support. Oh, isn't it
Dear,
very
oh
happy?
dear.
Did
Poor
you
thing.
make that boat by yourself? What did you use for it? So what's this
You have
underneath?
to go and wash your hands because you'll get it on your dress otherwise,
I
won't
know,
you?
that's really clever. What did you put in there?
Just a carpet.
Some carpet. And what material? What's this, do you think? Is it Oh, so plastic's really good for floating then. I must remember that if I want to know. We're really looking at speaking and listening rather than reading and writing. And we're looking at a structured approach of speaking and listening from nursery, going into reception. We do have planning, but there's more flexibility, and we do a lot more group work. And we have a lot more fun than we used to.
It's like having permission to have fun.
Yes,
though,
it's
isn't it?
yes, it's and we give time.
It's letting them take risks as well.
You have
With
to
the rope.
yes.
Should we let them play with the rope?
We have
It's
to allow.
dangerous.
We have to allow our children to take risks because they can't be wrapped up in bubble wrap, can they?
The significant difference, I think, that we have from you is the Year 6 SATs, the publication and the league tables.
Lots of people are concerned that the children are just going to play and not going to learn to read and write, and that actually is so wrong.
Yeah.
Our children are achieving at the end of the first year in the foundation phase in reading and writing and maths, as well as last year, if not better.
Oh, what's that?
In part
that's
2,
tiny.
Phil goes to Wales
it?
to see the new approach for himself.
It might be red.
Could be red.
Ah,
Oh, do they?